You know, when I was a kid, I never really had anybody that I could talk to about stuff. Girls, growing up, school, stress, bullying, getting bullied, living in a dangerous area, falling in with the wrong crowd. A million things on my mind, nobody that I could really ask for help or advice. And then I remember one day, I come across a YouTube video, and it's some guy answering fan mail. He's funny and charismatic, and the first question that gets asked is about going into high school from middle school. Just so happened I had just started high school. I watched the whole video, and suddenly that feeling of not having somebody to help guide me went away. And I felt like this oddly satisfying feeling inside. And I kept watching those videos, and before I knew it, I was looking up to this guy, like a big brother that I didn't have. And I did have a big brother, one that I love a ton these days, but back then it was different. He stayed behind in Boston to make his way through the world, and we didn't see each other a lot. So this guy on YouTube kind of filled that void for me. His name was Timothy De La Ghetto, better known today as Tim Chatarangsu. He dropped his alias a while back. And watching him as a kid, bro, I became addicted to what YouTube was and what it could mean. This place where people could deadass connect with each other, share shit that was funny or cool. And as corny as it sounds, and I know it sounds corny, it filled a void in my heart. And I wanted since I was a kid to do what Tim did, what many other YouTubers I've come to love over the last fucking 2 decades did. I wanted to connect with other people online. But I was nervous, scared even that see, I never had much of a self-esteem. I beat myself down my entire life pretty much, and I'm not really sure why. I just always felt less than, undeserving. And I really think it boils down to one thing: abandonment. It's always felt like the people I love ended up leaving me alone since I was a little kid. My father, my fucking superhero as a child, I witnessed actively seemed to get bored of me as his child as he started a new family. And looking back, I don't think that's what happened, but from the eyes of a 7-year-old, that was what I saw. My older brother, who was always hard on me. I mean, my older brother was a dick. I've told some wild stories about the shit that he did. But, he was hard on me, and understandably so. Our mom had to raise both of us dolo on her own. He was 9 years older than me, so he got stuck watching me and babysitting and taking care of me a lot. And I'm sure that shit definitely put a damper on his life as a teenager. You imagine you're 17 and you're having to drag your little 8-year-old brother around? I get it. And even though sometimes I genuinely thought he hated me, bro, I loved him so much. After my father, he was my biggest role model. Well, after my father, he was my biggest male role model. He was the coolest dude that I knew. And he ended up getting a girl pregnant when he was 18, 19, some shit, after my mom warned him not to. And he chose to be indifferent, and, he ended up being forced to be independent because of it. He wasn't really in a good place back then. He caused a lot of chaos. He was doing a lot of bad shit. And I think my mom took me and left probably just so I didn't end up going down the same path he did. But even so, I lost the only other man in my life at that point. Right, even with my own grandmother, the only one who was alive, the one on my father's side, for whatever reason, bro, she hated my mom. And she, very actively favored my cousin over me, to the point that I realized it as a child. And, emotional maturity and intelligence I might have had aside, whatever the fuck. Gang, do you know how blatant you have to behave for a fucking, 6-year-old to pick up on it? So that just felt like another relationship where somebody stepped away. And I think just years of this same experience repeated over and over and over and over again is what led me down this road of feeling like I was the problem, They left me because I was no good. Something was wrong with me. So this desire for making, some kind of content to try to connect with the outside world because my inside world felt so alone, I kept pushing it off until eventually I just kind of gave up on the idea entirely. And then, bro, one day I'm scrolling YouTube again. It's mad random regular shit. And a video pops up. I just quit my job. By a dude who at the time had maybe 10 or 15K, named Paulie Walnuts. Shout out to Paul. And this random video of some dude just fucking yapping about something that was going on in his life, for whatever reason, just reignited the spark in me that, I thought long had died out, to be honest. And I felt inspired randomly, and I bought a new laptop, I bought a Blue Yeti mic, and I was ready to go. And it sat in my bedroom for a couple months, just collecting dust while I went over that same uphill battle bullshit in my head over and over and over again. Nobody's gonna watch. Your voice doesn't matter. Nobody cares what you think. And then one night, I'm just randomly playing Dying Light 2 back when I first got into the game, right? And I'm playing, it's probably like 9 o'clock at night, and a girl joins my game. Well, I didn't know at the time. Somebody joins my game and starts talking to me. And a fucking miracle happens, bro. For the first time in like, shit, probably 10 years at that point, I met a stranger on a game, talked to them, got along with them, and became friends. An experience at that point that was so fucking unheard of for me. Dog, I felt like I had to sit down, open the laptop that I bought, unpack that mic, and talk about it. And the video got like, I think 7 views in the first 12 hours, which was definitely cool to me for sure. But dog, then something weird happened. I checked back like another 12 hours later, after it had been like a full 24 hours, and the video had like 200 views. And then I checked back like another couple hours later, and it was at 500. And then a few days later, you know, I'm feeling kind of down, just same old bullshit. And randomly, I kind of felt like I needed to vent. So again, I'll flip open the laptop, pull out the mic, and record or something. And again, first full day had maybe 20 views. Cool as shit to me. Then randomly, I checked back like a week later. Dog, the shit had over 2,000 views. And I guess the rest from there has been history. You know, I don't know why this happened or how, to be honest. Like, these videos that I just randomly make that I never expected anybody would ever watch, people watched. People commented, people fucking subbed. And, you know, 1 year later as I'm recording this, it's a little past 1 year. Right now as I'm recording this, it's 5:05 a.m., July 5th, 2026. Technically, a full year would have been on the 3rd, but I've been a little busy. Yesterday was the 4th, which is also my mom's birthday. I got kind of twisted last night. But anyway, 1 year later as I'm recording this, dog, and I'm sitting just below 42,000 subs. Like, dog, 42,000 people who felt like whatever bullshit I made, they watched and they liked. Like, enough to support, enough to maybe even come back and watch some more shit. Like, bro, I sit here at like 2.2 million views. That might not be special to a lot of people, and, you know, I get it. Like, I've seen mad videos from random people that got millions of views. But to me, bro, that shit means so much more. Over 2 million people have listened to me speak, even if it's just for a few seconds. And my voice, you know, this voice that I thought never meant nothing, you know, reached them, even if it was just for a second. Over 125,000 hours have been spent by people across the globe listening to me speak. Dog, that's equivalent to 5,200 days. That's 14 years. 14 years worth of me talking about whatever the fuck. You know, maybe it was about the passing of my father, or, you know, the sadness of losing a friend, my own insecurities and like battles with depression, or some stupid story, whatever, has been watched by people. You know, I never imagined 1 year of my life could feel like it's made up for the other 29 years that for the most part felt empty. You know what I mean? Like, I hadn't spent them shits the right way. And I really don't know what I can say besides thank you. I know this is kind of mushy and corny, but, you know, this might not seem meaningful to others, but to me, and like the kid inside me that I'm constantly trying to repair the broken pieces of, bro, the shit means a whole lot. So, like, here's to another year. Another year of just straight yanking my shit, you know what I mean? Dropping videos where you hear my voice cracking. You hear me fucking, oh my God, what the fuck? That's like 3 in a row, Jesus. You hear my fucking voice crack and I'm talking about stupid shit from my past and whatever the fuck. Thank you to Tim. Thank you to Paul. Like, real shit, y'all inspired me at different points in my life, but still. Thank you to every single one of you. Like, it's low-key little tangent, bro. It's amazing how the process of these videos like happens for me. Because I've spent almost an entire week with this video idea, like, in my drafts, right? Like, I knew I wanted to talk about 1 year. I didn't feel quite inspired, you know? I didn't know what to say. And I don't like trying to force it or bullshit. I think that's maybe why people fuck with my videos. I'm really trying to be authentic with the shit. So I've spent, like I said, a fucking week. I was thinking about how I should put it together. Make it like a funny story, more of the style of, like, my older videos where I kind of stayed more on topic about shit. You know, the idea been sitting in my phone for shit like 5 days, just untouched because I just felt unsure. And then I'm watching YouTube like maybe an hour and a half ago, 2 hours ago. And a singular sentence spoken in a video is what really kicked me to like finally feel inspired. And he mentioned how he's an advocate for mental health and how keeping things on the inside is damaging. And all I could think of is like, yeah, shit, me too. And I realized like, bro, that's a big part of what inspires me to make these videos is to just try to help other people feel less alone so they don't have to feel how I felt for most of my life. Like I was just alone, thugging it out by myself. You know, either way, bro, just thank y'all so much for everything that's happened over this last year. Here's to another year. Hopefully it'll be even better than the first one. And yeah, I've been Yankee. Peace.